Hi, folks. Bug Out Brad here with Camo Camping and Fun. I do a little retake of this video because the camera was bouncing around trying to focus. We'll see how this turns out. But I thought I'd do a little springtime video on some ATAC FG. I don't know if you can get enough of it, but I certainly got enough of it. What I was going to do was just do a video on this particular kit here of the clothing and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to skip the pack today. This is a Russian salt pack of type with listed like a Russian commando pack, but it's I think it's an earlier model because it only has the one disconnect on it on the other side there. But what I was going to do is take it in the other big studio in the garage we call and set this up and tell me what you think, because I got to make a decision on something I might change in it for the springtime. So, and here's something else I'll show you, just little additions to stuff that I make this kind of stuff. It's just got a wool blanket in it for an add-on, onto these type of things, but there'd be a set of straps around it to hold it down and all that kind of stuff. And well, I'll show you. Yeah, and this is a Helicon Tex bag. It's very expensive now, but yeah, I got most of the stuff for a lot less money than what it sells for now. A lot of it you can't even get. I had to show you these. These are made in Mexico, but they're actually pretty good. They're well made. I don't know if I go jogging in them or something like that, but and just briefly on the pack, canteen, cup, all that stuff, water bladder. This is a Russian army sheath I ordered because it was inexpensive, and I ended up putting a leather sheath inside of it just to hold it's just a kitchen type knife that fits, basically I think it was for a bayonet or something. But yeah, it turned out the knife is pretty good actually. This is just a radio pouch that you can stick a bottle of water in as well, or your radio. And I'm working on stuff still on it. There's an axe I'm working on still. I don't know if you can see that camera. There's an axe I'm working on. It's the cold steel Hudson's Bay axe, and I made a sheath for it, of course. But yeah, maybe I'll just show you the front back side of it here. There's a lot of gear in it right now. But yeah, there it is. Some additional pouches I made for first aid and stuff, and the Savata military bedroll, of course. And there's a little sheath I made for out of Velcro, because the sheath they wanted to sell was it was almost as much as the axe on Amazon. Yeah, so just a couple additional mollies there, malice straps, just in case. Yeah, I thought I'd show you that, and I'll do another video on this when I set it all up. But just stick with me, and I'll go out to the garage, and we'll play with that kit. Oh, and I call it a kit right now. Both are kits because I've never actually used them. When I turn it into a system that works for me, it's a different story. Then I know it works for me. Otherwise, it's still just a kit of stuff I put together. So I just want to be upfront about that. Stick with me, and I'll go to the garage. So this is the Russian Commando rain smock. At least that's what they called it. I got it from Amazon years ago. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's waterproof. There's little bumps here. Slings don't slide off and all that. It's kind of a fuzzy material. I know you can't see it that well because the lighting, I got the lighting starting to get better with the lighting and everything, but yeah, I'm gonna have to take it off, but because I'm boiling. And what I mentioned to you earlier about a problem I was having, I figured it out because I messed up the video the first time around. So when I came out and started doing it, I realized what the problem was that I was going to ask you folks about in about 5 minutes, but I'll explain that in a second. I'll show you what I got in the smock because that's one of the things I forgot to do in the last video. I messed it up. Just small little gloves, those little dollar store gloves as usual. This is my custom neck gaiter, just a Canadian Forces one I shaped for my face and so I could breathe without fogging up my glasses, sort of thing. Cut it a little shorter as well. That's what's in that pocket. Then we've got It's so funny because I forgot to even mention this. One of the most important things that I carry. The video I messed up. Should be able to get it out. Yeah, so this is just a little waterproof box. I gotta so you don't get the light shining on it too hard there. It's just got a compass, lighter matches, the stuff you'd normally, a little TP in there, a little dental floss. Um, yeah, there's even a little bug spray Viper business in there. A tick fork. I don't know if you can see that right here, and a sewing needle at the top. And imagine somewhere in there, there's a thing of thread or something, or you could use the dental floss, one or the other. I don't know. I don't want to open it. Oh, there's a magnesium bar inside there as well behind this little mini lighter. But I just thought that was cool to keep in the pocket, just in case. And of course, another pair of little gloves. I took the little work gloves you can buy for in the packages, and I dyed a bunch of them green years ago. Yeah, some of them turned out really dark in the beginning, and then they kind of lightened up in the end. But yeah, I keep those all kinds of. I'm a real glove fanatic because I worked for years doing HVAC maintenance, and I would carry 3 pairs of gloves on me, and I'd destroy some of them in one shot. There's the little rubbery palmed guys that everybody uses. Um, those are good for when you get into the mucky stuff, right? Uh, there's the bottom of that neck gaiter, just in case you need another small neck gaiter. I don't know why I even did that, but what else do we got? Oh yeah, so these are pretty cool. I took a leather pair of just your leather pigskin type work gloves, and I did them up with face paint, just so they kind of looked a little bit camouflagey, and with different colors of face paint, and they fit really tight. So if you got to do some serious work, well, you got the gloves to do it. What else do we got in the pockets? Oh my god. Oh yeah, some just the little green rubbery gloves, just like the black mechanics gloves, and you can slide them on when you're putting on uh, those little cut off finger neoprene gloves. Everybody probably knows, seen them before. And of course, this is a wet weather suit. Um, that's why it's not just piled into one other bag with just my regular clothes. This is waterproof, and I'll show you the pants in a sec. Another pair of little dollar store green gloves, which you never see. Um, yeah, and this is just a regular polyester polycotton toque in the pocket because, well, I think it might be all polyester. I'm not sure, but that's for wet weather when it gets cooler. Of course, I had I had the wrong hat. I have see you see this hat. I had this in the beginning of the video, but I actually had a cool weather hat with the ventilation on the back in the ATAC FG. Oh God, I got more stuff in the pockets. So here's your little, well, more rubber gloves, the black kind. Um, let's see, what do we got here? Oh yeah, this is go nowhere without your little diaper wipers, right? Of course. And that's it for that shoulder. This side here, their proud Canadian flag. Oh, more little green gloves, because you never know what you're going to get into, and especially if you're using some of this stuff, right? Yeah. So I'm going to get this off now. It's got the ties on the inside so you can pull it all in. It's got ties on the bottom so you can tuck it all in. It's pretty funny. They got woodland camouflage on the inner side, and it's all mesh, so it's fairly breathable. It's pretty hot though. I mean, it seals in a lot of heat, so it's not super breathable, but it's waterproof, and that's what we wanted, right? Okay. I get that off. Oh my God. And I put, this is a Cabela's, there's an LL Bean, sorry. I don't think those suspenders are right. But this is your LL Bean commando sweater in camo. I don't think you can get these anymore, by the way. So, but you can still get the commando sweater. They're beautiful sweaters. right now I'm just on fire because I had that on. So hopefully it cooled down a little bit. It's not a really warm day, but it's not really cold either. When I did this video when I was out here before, and the one I messed up, it was like freezing out. Maybe my hands were freezing. And what I was telling you about earlier, before I forget, is this was the problem. So I had this Miltech fleece, which I can't find anywhere. It's just a non-hooded. You can get fleece like this with the hoods and everything and non-hooded. But the Miltech one has the nylon shoulders and the nylon reinforcement elbows. And it's fairly quality fleece, but I actually had this on with this commando sweater and the Gore-Tex, or the waterproof jacket. I don't know. I think it may be some kind of Russian Gore-Tex type of thing. But I had that on, and oh my God, I was ready to explode. And it was a cool day outside. I couldn't believe how hot that combination was. You could wear that in the dead of winter. So what I was going to ask you to help decide for me, which I already figured out now, was maybe just put a little just a light polycotton jacket, very, very light. It's just a camouflage cover jacket, and there's a pair of pants underneath here. And it also has a hood. And the reason I want stuff like this in my kit is actually to protect the sweaters, or if you're just wearing a fleece, from debris and everything from trees and whatnot. Because once you get into the burrs and stuff and you're just wearing this, say you got to take off your jacket because you got to cut wood or whatever, but it's cool out and you got to leave your sweater on. Well, when wood starts sticking into sweaters, especially pines and all that stuff, it's just a nightmare, right? So just an inexpensive, and these are fairly cheap, what I paid for these back in the day. But I mean, how they want like 50, $60 for it. I think I paid $28 for the set, which is, awesome, as Lars would say. But, I did buy a couple of them too. I got a heavier nylon one. So the next, because I'll probably forget if I don't show you now when I'm thinking about it, is what I carry in the side pouches on this bag. So I left them all inside the bag so I wouldn't put them on the table and get them all mixed up. These are a set of suspenders from the 50, like Korean War type stuff. And there's little hooks on the bottom. Now, a lot of American folks will be familiar with these, and I put little string ties so you could tie them on your belt loops if you wasn't conveniently able to hook onto something. Therefore, the pants I'm going to show you. These are just regular Canadian Forces combat pants. You can picture them there. But these are not Reg Forces. These are actually cadets. They have the little stretchies on them and stuff. And they're actually marked, get that in the camera, cadet. Well, backwards in the camera. But these are size, I'm a 36. These are size 38 short, for us short little guys. And they have the drapes on the inside to tuck into your boots, of course, which is similar to the Russian Army pants. And they also are Velcroed instead of buttoned. So you don't want to hear, the enemy doesn't want to hear that noise. So that's why they're not regular combat pants. But fortunately, they're in excellent condition. I forget where I bought them, probably a surplus dealer. I don't think we got them years ago in the business, but they're excellent pants for outdoors. They're probably the best pants I've ever worn for outdoors. But that set of suspenders can go with them. Also, I think I got two of these, yeah. Optional belt. So this is just a smaller belt with the metal buckle, slide buckle. It's a little bit chintzy, but they work. And of course, the wider style belt, modern belt, and I painted the buckle green. So just to match everything, because I'm a little green crazy, right? Next on the list, small short set of gaiters. Now they'll probably end up being sprayed with something I got recently from Princess Auto. They actually carry bug spray for clothing now, eh? So hopefully it doesn't wreck your clothing, but like deep. But I'm going to try that out. And of course, if you're going to wear something around your waist, you might as well look cool with your ATAC FG combat belt. Didn't cost much from AliExpress, right? So you're good to go there. Spare pair of the Dure Army socks. A lot of people are familiar with them up here in Canada. Spare pair. And so that would probably, if I don't have them already, they would probably go into the cargo pocket of my pants, right? That's those. And next, some more Kleenex, some big old dude wipes. Yeah, dude wipes. So they're in the side pouch, so just in case. What else do we got here? This is a spare long sleeve t-shirt, poly cotton. Surplus DRME carries these. I don't know how many sizes they got left. It's like a company called Sportsman that does contracts for the government and that. And I guess Surplus DRME in Quebec, great people to deal with. They order them with long sleeves because I guess some of the Canadian Forces guys buy a lot of stuff off them. So that's always cool to have. Then, well, an extra pair of Canadian Forces wicking drawers, a must. What else we got here? And of course, a shemagh. Probably should be green, but I just stuck one in there for now. Yeah, hand rags. These little thin gloves came with, I think, a pair of other American gloves. They're very thin wool, but they're real wool. You see that? Yeah, they're real wool. So I just thought I'd put them in for extra gloves. And of course, green, orange garbage bag, various other little freezer bags, just in case you get something messy you want to put in there. Yeah, I don't mean your underwear, but you know what I mean. Something messes up. And so what's next on the list? A pair of regular gloves with the little ties I put on them for to hang off the carbiner. I didn't show you there on the smock. I got a little hook on there made out of this material, this Canadian Forces strapping type material. And they're just your lined gloves. Good for work, all that kind of stuff. Here was one of the things I had trouble with when I had the Miltech the Miltech fleece on, plus this thing here and the smock. I couldn't get the gloves that I had in this kit to go on with the cuffs over for rain, you know, type of thing. So these are just a pair of, well, they're like NATO type mitts, but they were tan. Some of them are green. Sorry, can't see that. I just shortened them up and did a little hemming stitch on them. And they actually, and they have the trigger mitt inside them, and they're trigger mitt gloves, right? But just because of this cinch here, they can go inside that cuff on the smock. They're small enough, so that worked. I had to fight a little bit to get my left hand on, but it worked, right? So that's the main thing, as long as it works. We'll get to the rest of the stuff on the table. Funky hat. This thing is, I think this is like a Russian army type hat. And this pulls down as a little, as a little visor type of thing. It has some really nice gridded, see that? Gridded fleece in there. It's lined with. Yeah. Oh, it's also a Miltech too. I never even noticed, right? 6535 poly cotton. So in ATAC's FG, of course, right? I think you can even wear that under a helmet. So that's pretty cool. I didn't pay a lot for it. Another thing I got from Amazon, which I used to hunt for years ago, and stuff would pop up like that. Some of the coolest smocks that I own just came from Amazon. And then that's gone, like completely gone. I mean, I got this stuff before the pandemic, a lot of it. And the things I did order from Russia before the war, it's like, you know, forget about that stuff. And I had to do a Canadian Forces artillery beret, and I had to put a 17th Lancers hat badge. This is just a repro one. I used to collect them, and I had a couple of real ones, but actually sold them all to a tattoo artist who's going to use them. But yeah, so I had to paint one black, of course, just to look crazy if you were playing paintball with the boys, right? I mean, it's oh yeah, I put that in my thumbnail, I think, on the front cover. So just for a laugh. Not that I'd wear a beret around. Yeah, I mean, it's cool if you're in France, right? What else do we got here? Yeah, this is the, okay, so that's the shirt I was wearing when I started the video, right? A long sleeve poly cotton. I got one of these in ATAC's AU as well. And I got them from Hank's Surplus down in, I think it's in California, when I bought a pair of gauntlet mitts that I believe I showed in another video. Yeah, a winter clothing video that I did. I bought the gauntlet mitts, who were really cool, and these two shirts. And well, now to order stuff from the States, forget it, right? Little costly, right? Okay, so we're coming to the end. This has some of the finest wool long johns and shirt, and it's got a little separate bag, a little nylon baggy thing, fancy little thing from Mountain Co-op, which that's where this came from, Mountain Co-op. And try and find an olive one in Mountain Co-op now, might as well forget it. They went all, different colors. But it has a little separate compartment for just in case you have, smelly socks, that type of thing. You want to get rid of them. But it's loaded with summer socks, wool socks, winter socks, and actually a pair of wool underwear from Tega Works and a shirt from Tega Works. I believe that the long johns are from Mountain Co-op. But yeah, the Tega Works stuff is just off the charts wool, right? With like a full, mock neck type of setup with a zipper and all that, and various socks. So it's like the bomb. And what's really cool about this thing, of course, is you can squeeze the air out through that valve and stuffs down smaller. So that's really cool. So the last things I just wanted to mention, because usually I would put these in my boot bag, right? These are Canadian Forces. I don't think they make them anymore because I don't think we have that H.H. Browns. I don't know if you can get that in the camera here. Can you get that? Yeah, these are by H.H. Brown. There's the guy's name on them. Wore them. He didn't wear them very much, I can tell you that much. And these are the really heavy duty military type Gore-Tex boots. These are awesome, these boots. They are made for flexibility. You see how they're made like a shoe here? So they're made for flexibility. So those are the greatest walking boots and all that kind of stuff. They're not very heavy. They're fantastic, and they're totally waterproof. So again, with a water type system for rain and everything, you're going to wear some, waterproof boots. I don't know if they're actually still waterproof. I've never really tested them, but the Gore-Tex is pretty good. The only other option I would go with, and this is just what I use because I wore a pair of these I've wore every construction boot you can think of, and these are like the Timberland Pros. I think they're called Boondocks or something. I don't think they're the highest level model or anything, but I put crazy glue along the stitching here so it won't break. But these boots, because of their design, they're not as flexible as, of course, a set of combat boots. So if you're in offset ground or anything, rocky terrain, all kind of stuff, you don't want to twist up your old ankle, because mine spent 17 years going up and down a ladder almost every day, and 40, I don't know, coming up 45 years industrial. But these were really good boots. I mean, I've had everything, STCs, Royers, everything, Terras, you name it. And I found these to be the most comfortable boot. And they even run a little bit big because I'm size 9, and these are 8.5, and they fit with actually a wool sock on. So that's pretty interesting, right? But that would be just my advice: to wear a pair of really good waterproof boots with your waterproof suit, of course, right? And I put in my little socky things that I made up, little ankle protectors, because I have that little problem with my ankle. And they just sit inside of it. I didn't even know they were in there, actually. And I have thicker ones for other types of boots and that sort of thing. But yeah, so that pretty well brings it to a close. And now I got to figure out how to pack this stuff all away. Thanks. You didn't have to make a decision for me on those on the fleece and all that stuff, because it was murderous. I think the only thing I didn't show you right now is in the end here. I have one of those fancy SGS made in China, safety type belts, but it's got the carabiner hook on it here. So I put a carabiner on it to look cool. The buckle is steel and it bites down on the belt itself. So I don't know if you could use it for a lifeline. I don't know if I would, but And of course, I put these pants on, and these are the Gore-Tex Canadian Forces modern type of wind pants. They're just the older style that are green. They don't use anymore, right? That are Gore-Tex. They're bomb-proof, basically. And I didn't want to take them off to show you because I didn't want to scare the women and all that stuff, right? And I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned these, but these are, they got the plastic hitch and everything on. Oh, sorry, the hitch on them and all that here, and they're attached to the loop to the heavy belt. These are like heavy duty suspenders for, I think they're Rothko, and they're not cheap. They're very expensive. Now, these, the side hitches, like the little side hitches ones I showed you from the 50s, Korean War style ones, they're great. They really hang on because these are not that little light stretchy stuff, because I've had to change, and I'm gonna, like I said in the other video, I'm gonna do a suspender thing for a little bit of a video, because they're not hitched at the back like a 2-point hitch at the back and like an H harness. And that's one of the problems you can have with backpacking, especially if you're short. Your pack will constantly push down your drawers. So basically, you're, playing with that. Maybe even have to take off your pants just to readjust your drawers, which is a pain. And I'll talk about the different types of suspenders I use to solve those problems. But that's about it for now. Like, share, subscribe, and I got another subscriber the other day. It was fantastic. I really appreciate watching my videos, and try not to scroll through them because that doesn't help the channel. I know my viewers don't do that, but somebody who might be just seeing this for the first time does a lot of people don't have patience, maybe the patience of a squirrel, but not my viewers. And thank you to all of my subscribers, and we will see you in the next video, and have yourself a fantastic day. Thanks for watching.